Super Mario Odyssey is continuing to seem like a spiritual successor to Mario 64, except one that's more upgraded and expanded. I'm not necessarily saying that Odyssey is going to be better than 64, in fact we cannot judge that in any way yet because the game is not even released. Also, it's not necessarily size that makes a game better, that's where the phrase quality over quantity comes from. My point here though is because it's a spiritual successor and taking much inspiration from Mario 64, there's obviously a ton of references to Mario 64 within Odyssey. These include elements such as the paintings that I talked about in my last video coming back into Odyssey. But as I was watching footage from E3 of Super Mario Odyssey, this image reminded me that there are far more than just paintings and Koopa racing. That some of the bosses in Super Mario Odyssey are actually based off of the ones in Mario 64. I'm not necessarily talking about the Brutals here, in fact they take more inspiration of the Koopalings than anything, they're like an evolution of Bowser's children. But this ice figure with the disembodied hands that Mario is seen ramming into with a rocket that he's captured. This is very similar to the iRock from Mario 64, which was the boss in Shifting Sandland. Now this ice boss, I'm pretty sure is going to be within the ice cave in the Sand Kingdom in Odyssey, as we saw it before the Snow Kingdom was even revealed for the game. Plus, this sort of looks like an indoor location, and the ice cave is certainly indoors. But because one boss, a very iconic one from Mario 64, is getting referenced in such a big way in Odyssey, I think that could mean that there will be more Mario 64 bosses that'll be referenced in this new game. Not necessarily taking carbon copies from Mario 64, however, just changing them up a little bit and evolving them with the times to become new, fresh experiences in Odyssey while still giving you that vibe of one of the best Mario titles of all time. Today I'd like to talk about some ideas that I have for reinventing bosses from Mario 64 into Super Mario Odyssey. What new abilities would they have? What new form would they take? What kingdom would they be in, and so much more. Let's start with the first boss in Mario 64, King Bob-omb. You actually fight him twice in Bob-omb Battlefield, in which obviously there are a lot of Bob-ombs, however we've never really seen an area highly populated with them yet in Super Mario Odyssey. Do I think the Bob-ombs are entirely absent from the game? Absolutely not. They're probably hiding somewhere that I haven't even discovered yet. However, they're certainly not in the prominent role that we've seen them in certain worlds in Mario 64. This could all change though when the game releases and we find certain areas of existing kingdoms that we already know of that we haven't seen yet, and they're highly populated with Bob-ombs. For being such a notable enemy of the Mario series, I highly doubt that they're going to be absent from Odyssey, but one character who maybe is their leader, King Bob-omb. First introduced to Mario 64 as Big Bob-omb, then getting his name changed to his rightful title as King. King Bob-omb is certainly no easy challenge. No, he totally is. Being completely honest, he's kind of a pushover. However, if he were to be in Super Mario Odyssey, I could see him being totally reinvented to be much more difficult. Take a look at this purple monster here that I talked about in my last video. He's absolutely huge, and you have to capture this Gushin to ram into him. This is similar to the ice boss that I just talked about, where you have to capture a rocket and ram into him. This could be a possible theme for the bosses in Mario Odyssey, taking a character and making them large to be more boss-like, more intimidating, and have Mario use the new capture mechanic to actually take them out. This reinvents an old concept, makes it a bit more challenging, and actually uses new mechanics from the game. It's a brilliant idea, and I think it could be used very well for King Bob-omb, making him very large in appearance in a similar way to how he is in Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. In that game, he's pretty big in his appearance, so I think that in Mario Odyssey, he'll be much larger than he actually was in 64. I don't think he'll be as gigantic as this ice creature is, however, I think he'll be much larger than he was, so that you won't actually be able to pick him up. The idea for implementing new concepts from Odyssey into this boss fight involves you capturing a Bob-omb, then going up to King Bob-omb and blowing up yourself right near him. If you did not know, this is how I think the capturing idea of a Bob-omb would work in Odyssey. If you want to know more capture enemy ideas that I have for the game, I also made a video about that. You can check that out. Next, I'll move on to the second boss of the game. This is the Womp King. Two kings back to back that you dethrone. I mean, you're just an absolute savage in Mario 64. I always found it really weird about the Whomps that you could actually just stomp on the X on their back and then they like completely obliterate. Well, the Whomp King could actually take 3 of those hits. He is so much better than the regular Whomps. When the Whomp King actually appeared in Super Mario Galaxy, he had a much taller appearance and he was wider as well. So I think this will carry over to Mario Odyssey, having a similar concept. I also talked about the Whomp in my Capture Any My Ideas video. However, I don't necessarily think they're going to capture a Whomp, then walk over to King Whomp, and then fall on top of his axe. Like, that would just be too weird. It may just be in a similar way to the original. And I think that the Sand Kingdom would actually be a good place to fight the Whomp King, because there is a similar tower in the Sand Kingdom to the one that is in the Whomp's Fortress, of course, in Mario 64. I never mentioned any idea of where I think the Bob-omb King would be fought, because, to be completely honest, we haven't seen Bob-ombs yet, as I mentioned earlier, so I don't really know any idea that he would work well in. And the last boss that I'm going to talk about today is Chief Chili. Obviously, he would probably be the boss of the Snow Kingdom, which obviously makes sense. I feel like I'm saying obviously a bit too much, so I'll obviously stop. Chief Chili in appearance is like the regular bully, except he's light blue in color. By the way, if you did not know, Chief Chili is actually exclusive to Super Mario 64 DS. If you are looking for a different version inside of the original, the Chill Bully, who is just like a smaller version of Chief Chili, I guess. However, Chief Chili, for being a character who's only been in 2 games throughout his existence, definitely has a large personality. By the way, how you defeat him is by punching or kicking him off of the stage, and I think this will be altered for Super Mario Odyssey. We already know in the Snow Kingdom, in Shavaria, if you want to get more specific, you can capture these little ball things and have them roll down a hill. I talked about it in my Snow Kingdom analysis video. Maybe you could actually capture these snowballs in the boss fight and ram them into Chief Chili from behind, and that'll have him be knocked off of the stage. And once you do that 3 times, you'll have successfully defeated Chief Chili and unlocked Wario. Oh wait, no, never mind. This is not 64. This is Odyssey. You'll unlock a Grand Moon instead, because that's going to be so much more helpful to you than a freaking Wario outfit. That better be in the game, by the way. Now, I'm not going to talk about every single boss from Mario 64 in this video, because to be completely honest, there are not too many that are outright significant other than Bowser, the 3 that I talked about. There's also Big Boo, however. I don't really know how you could change him up too much. Let me know in the comment section below. And there's also Wiggler, however, he's also appearing in the game as Mecha Wiggler in the nighttime of New Donk City, which is very interesting. So again, that is another boss taken out of inspiration from Mario 64. However, it's upgraded and expanded now because you have to capture the shroom and then shoot the spots that light up on Mecha Wiggler's back in order to defeat him, which is a very interesting concept. Well, I hope you enjoyed my ideas in this video. Let me know yours in the comment section below, as I'm going to be making a comment or ideas video very soon. Be sure to watch my previous videos, talked about some in this video, as well as subscribe and turn on upload notifications so you do not miss anything. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.